What's up, guys? This is Big D, and once again, you're watching Big D Films. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Road Stories. And this is where I tell you guys some of my stories about some of my experiences and some of the things that I've seen over the years while out riding my bike, either on some of my, just day rides or some of my longer, bigger trips. For today, this story takes us back to 2012. May of 2012 to be exact. Now, like I like to do, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of backstory here before we kind of get into this whole thing. So, again, in May of 2012, the riding club that I'm still with to this day, we had just started that year. And in May, we were only about 4 months old at that time. We had started in January. And so we've rode with each other a little bit, nothing big, but, we were just getting the hang of riding in a group, things like that. And so by May, we had decided that, it's time to, put some miles down. It's time for our first big trip. So we decided we're going to head up to Baldwin, Michigan for the Blessing of the Bikes event that they have up there every year. And again, we had never done anything like this as a group before, and many of us, myself included, have never done anything like this on a motorcycle at all, period. So this was all new to us. Well, the day had come to start heading up that way, and it was decided shortly before this that, we're going to try to be smart about this, right? We're going to try to take precautions, and you just try to be prepared, right? If anything happens. So we had decided that it'd be a good idea to, take a chase car with a trailer, just in case, somebody's bike breaks down or heaven forbid, something else happens. We at least got a way to get something home if something were to happen. So, we decided to do that, and we go to, take off on this trip, and on the trailer, my cousin loaded his trike onto the trailer. And you got to understand what this trike is. This isn't like a Harley trike or a Honda trike or anything like that. No, this is like a custom homemade Volkswagen trike. Now, this thing is bad. It's a pretty bad machine. It's got like the engine and transmission from like one of those Volkswagen dune buggies. And, so it's got reverse and everything, and it's got the big, like, car tires on the back and a long, narrow Springer front end in the front. I mean, this thing was pretty awesome. So anyway, that's something important to know here in a little bit. So we take off and we start making our way to Baldwin. And we get up there with hardly any issues. I mean, we did have a little bit of an issue. The very thing that we were bringing with us just in case something was going to happen, starts to go wrong with the van. It was just our luck, I mean, I don't remember if it was just starting to overheat or if it was a transmission problem or something. I don't really recall right offhand exactly what the problem with the van was, but it started having some issues. Well, we were able to get it up there, and everything was fine. And so we were going to stay at another one of my uncle's places. He's got a place up that way, and so we didn't have to pay for hotels and all that kind of stuff. So we were going to stay there, and we roll in, and it doesn't have like a paved driveway or anything like that. It's like just dirt and sand, and I'm telling you this because that's important later too. So anyway, we get there. And we start unloading everything, unpacking the van and saddlebags and stuff. There's stuff that we didn't, really need, while we were there. And then it was time to unload the trike. Okay? Right off the get-go. Something doesn't seem quite right to me. Because they stuck 2 ramps on the back of the trailer. But I'm thinking to myself, well, it's a trike. You got 3 wheels, and, they're kind of staggered and stuff, so it's okay, that's good for the back 2 wheels, but what are you going to do about the front? But I don't know, they must know what they're doing. And so my cousin jumps up there, he starts the trike, and he goes to start rolling this trike down the ramps. Well, it started to roll a lot faster than what he anticipated. And so what does he do? Well, probably what any of us would have done, right? Your first instinct would try to be like hitting the brakes, right? Try to slow yourself down, hit the brakes. Well, there was a problem with that, you see, because there was no front brake on this trike. It had a front brake. It used to at first, but the thing is, there was so much weight in the back of this machine and so little weight in the front. I mean, it literally weighed nothing in the front. You could legitimately walk up to the front of this machine, grab the front end with your pinky and lift it straight off the ground. It weighed nothing in the front. You know, it's when you were sitting on it, it kind of, I think, more, kept it a little more level and even as far as weight's concerned. So, but anyways, when it had a front brake, since it weighed so little in the front, when it hit the front brake, that little front tire would just start skipping across the pavement. The front brake didn't even do anything. So he just took it off. So when I say he hit the brakes, well, he hit the brakes. The only brakes he had, the back brakes. Again, the problem with that is that he's rolling backwards. So he hits the brakes, and I think he immediately knew that that was probably a bad idea. He hits the back brakes, and the next thing that we know, the front end is sticking straight up in the air. His feet are dangling off the edges. You know, he's kicking his feet in the air. And for a split second, for a moment, I'm standing there and I'm like, oh God, this trike is going to flip on him. You know, oh my, this is not good. His saving grace. His exhaust pipes stuck out so far out the back that it almost acted like almost like a wheelie bar in a sense. And the exhaust pipes hit the dirt, dug into the dirt and the sand, and that's what kept him from going all the way over. So the momentum stops. The front end starts to come back down, and somehow, for some reason, when this happened, the bike must have shifted or something a certain way. Because when the front end came back down, it landed right on one of the ramps and it just rolled it the rest of the way down. And we're almost freaking out, but he gets it down and he looks at all of us and he says, "That's how you do it." So he got the thing down and I mean, again, since I was able to get the whole thing on video and as soon as I'm finished up here, I'll put the entire video clip right here at the end of the video so you guys can watch this. And again, this video clip was a part of the first ever Baldwin trip, and I did a whole video on that. I'll link that up in here somewhere where you guys can still see that. It's on the original club YouTube channel. It does still exist. You can still see it. But he gets the trike down, and everything's good now, and you know, again, luckily he didn't flip it. He didn't damage it either. Nothing got damaged. The pipes were fine. The front end is fine. Everything's good. And we proceeded to have, you know, a great time for the rest of the weekend. It actually wasn't until we went to go back home where we actually had another problem. And it was the van. We get maybe 3/4 of the way back home. And finally the van's had enough. It just dies. It's done. So I remember, like, several of us, we ended up riding the rest of the way back home. And I didn't go, but a few of them end up getting another vehicle. I had to go all the way back and, like, tow the van back home. So a lot of good the van would have done if some other problem really would have occurred. But that's, you know, that's neither here nor there. Everybody got home in one piece. Everything was good, and we had a great time. So, anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys had a good time listening to me rant and tell this story. It's still something that some of us still talk about to this day, because it was pretty funny when it came right down to it, and you know, we know that nobody got hurt or anything. So, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so that you don't miss the next story or anything else that I put up here on Big D Films. If you guys got any stories that you want to share with me, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I would love to hear some other road stories of other guys and gals out on the road and some of the things that they've experienced, whether they, just be, I don't know, funny stories, whether they're good or bad. Maybe they're just, embarrassing, whatever. Again, if you ride a motorcycle, at least for a decent length of time, everybody's got road stories. I guarantee it. So, again, share yours with me. I want to hear all about them. Other than that, that is the end of my story. And again, I'll show you the clip here in just a moment. But until the next story, or the next Shattered Glass Saloon, or the next ride, thanks for watching. I am Big D. You've been watching Big D Films. We'll see you down the road.
Whoa! Hey, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Dude, you had dust and dirt all up in them pipes. I got that on video, dude. That was priceless. Yeah.